Aliens. Send in the Marines. The Space Marines. Remember the old toy commercials?
Aliens. Send in the Marines. The Space Marines. Ripley, 8-Bone, Bishop, and I'm Hicks.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I used to have those.
Really?
Yes. Good times, man.
Yeah, man, I never thought we'd be sitting here chatting about aliens so soon on this channel.
Yeah, it's not every day you get to review one of your favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, no, how about of all time?
I mean, the last one in the series was Alien, kicking this off, our retro review series of the Alien franchise. And now we're up to the last film in the franchise, Aliens.
How long was I out there?
57 years.
My movie always said there were no monsters. No real ones. But there are.
You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out.
That's the plan. You have my word on it.
All right, I'm in.
Let's rock!
This is definitely a top 5.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's up there.
And on certain days, if you ask me, what's your favorite movie? And I'm able to just single out one, Aliens.
Yeah.
This is an emotional moment for all of us, okay?
We were talking about this earlier. The mood you have to be in to either put on Alien or Aliens. I feel like I was always rather in the mood to watch Aliens, you know, and I could sit down and like focus on Aliens, but sometimes it's like the perfect background movie too. You just throw it on and you're doing something, then you're like, oh wait, I'll just watch it.
Yes.
You know, but with like Alien, I would never throw that on as like a background movie. I would just sit down and
that makes
kind of
sense.
lock into that.
Back in the day when people actually watched television and you had channels, Aliens was one of those movies where if you came across it on TV,
Staple.
It didn't matter where it was.
Yep, you
in
stopped
the movie,
scrolling and
you would just see it through from that
Yep.
point on. But where do you begin, man? I mean, again, like Alien, this movie's been talked to death, and there have been some great YouTube channels that have had phenomenal discussions about this movie.
Breakdowns, behind the scenes, all that stuff. You know, and we both watched it again very recently, and you know, we picked up on a few things that I guess might not be talked about too much. You know, so we're gonna go through some of those.
Yeah, you know, as we said in the Alien review, no film is perfect. And same thing applies to Aliens, as great as this movie is. That being said, though, the things that we nitpick, I understand that there might be expanded lore and like fucking comic books and like...
Yes, the expanded lore.
Yeah, exactly. None of that stuff fucking matters. We are judging everything by the information that is given to us in these films.
Yes.
Nothing more.
And we are going to focus on the theatrical release, but we are going to reference,
the director's cut.
The director's cut as well, because there are some very relevant scenes in that probably should have stayed in the film, but I understand why they were cut out, pacing and whatnot.
I will say off the bat that I am actually a fan of the theatrical cut more than the extended cut. I like the extended cut and I'm glad that it exists. But with the exception of one scene in it, I just like the pacing.
The pacing is pretty tight.
Yeah.
There's a couple scenes in the extended cut that I absolutely love. And then one in particular that is very important to Ripley's character.
Which is with a scene where you find out
that she had a daughter
and she died.
Her daughter died old age or whatever.
They should have kept that in there.
Yes.
And mostly because the heart of the movie is the relationship between her and Newt.
Yes.
And that really gives it some foundation.
Yeah, it's a big blow to that underlying character development for Ripley.
Yeah.
Because you're not really thinking about that until Newt shows up. But in the extended cut, you are thinking about it leading up to that. So it does help with her character quite a bit. But then some of the other scenes, like the hallway sentry gun scene, it's cool, but you know, like you said, they reuse footage and like...
That's my problem with it. Like, everyone loves this scene, and I get the idea is cool, but I always had a problem with it because it's clearly a scene that was just cobbled together in the editing room. Because anytime you see an alien get hit,
like the same
it's the
shot.
same shots that they used early on when they were coming out of the hive. And that always bothered me.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, that's cool, but they should.
Well, it might have been something that was like they kind of cut it while they were shooting, so they didn't shoot the entire thing. Yeah.
That's exactly that. I'm assuming that's what happened.
Yeah.
But that's more reason for them not to include it. Then,
Yeah. And then some of the the scenes, like I do love like the little bit of extra stuff you get with Hudson when they're on the drop ship and he's just going off.
Yeah.
Sharp sticks.
Yeah.
You do not want to fuck with me.
Hey,
we'll protect you.
Check it out. We'll protect you.
Me and my squad of ultimate badasses will protect you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But it's not like necessary. I mean, he gets enough screen time that you get his character pretty well. So I get why they cut it. But then you have the whole intro with Hadley's Hope. And that scene always sat weird with me because you get to see the colony before its destruction. And I don't like that.
Neither do I.
It takes away them seeing it for the first time and you seeing it for the first time with those characters.
Exactly right, yeah.
But knowing what it looks like ahead of time kind of ruins it a little bit. Especially that little family driving up to the derelict ship is kind of weird.
It's very Spielbergian.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a Spielberg family moment. You know what I mean? Like, especially because it was made back in the 80s, like during the reign of Spielberg.
Yeah.
So it just has that, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just an off-putting scene.
Yeah.
Seeing like a mom and dad with like a couple kids drive up to the derelict ship in like a buggy.
Yeah, and
and
the quality of the derelict, the matte painting and the miniature, it's not as good as the one in the first one.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like,
I'm glad all that got cut.
I am too. Now it's cool to see.
It is cool.
I like seeing it, and I'm glad that it exists, as I said. But to me, I just feel like it holds back a really tightly woven horror sci-fi thriller.
Yeah, it messes with the pacing a bit.
Yeah.
And, seeing this place for the first time and seeing what it looks like through the eyes of the Marines.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is pretty cool. But this is like Alien, we're not going to go through the plot.
Well, there's no point.
We're just going to talk
about the shit that we like.
But, it's a little setup. We're 57 years after the original Alien. Ripley's been asleep.
She slipped through the core systems.
She slipped through the core systems, it was
blind luck.
Blind luck, she got picked up.
Yeah.
When she did, and she wakes up to a different world. The planet from the original movie is now inhabited by colonists.
Right, they've terraformed it.
And they lose contact with the colony. So, going to send in the Marines. And Ripley goes along as a advisor.
Right.
And all hell breaks loose, and you know the rest.
Yeah. Now, one thing we didn't touch on in our Alien review, and I feel kind of bad we didn't talk about this, but we didn't really discuss the performances. That's just because you and I are like so technical and like
I know
fuck actors. But Jesus, dude, like Sigourney Weaver is so good in this movie, and she was nominated for an Oscar for this movie, and like that's so rare that
for like a sci-fi action movie, yeah, especially back then.
Exactly.
They weren't even taking that seriously.
Absolutely not. But it's not just her. Like, everyone is good in this movie. And, like, this is kind of like what we talked about in our Prey review when we referred to Predator, where Predator and this movie have that thing in common where you like all of the side characters.
Yeah.
They have really good personalities. They work really well together.
The chemistry,
Yeah, and they feel like fully realized people, even though they've got limited screen time. Once they start getting picked off, it fucking sucks. Bill Paxton as Hudson.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man.
He's that character who's just like losing his shit, complaining. Everyone's telling him to shut the fuck up.
This is some real pretty shit now, man. You finished?
As the movie goes on, like, he does sack up and do shit.
If it's your first time watching it, you kind of get annoyed at him.
Yeah.
Then he becomes it's funny, and then he becomes enduring.
Yeah.
And then you like him.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
And then you realize, like, he's got a fucking point.
He does.
He's complaining and everything, and, he's kind of a doom and gloom guy, and everyone's kind of composed around him. But he's not wrong.
No, I always felt that Hudson was the audience.
Yeah.
The audience is like thinking,
you can count
fuck that.
Me out. Yeah.
You can count me
Why
out.
don't you put her in charge? Yeah, I mean, it's perfect.
Why don't you put her in charge?
You better just start dealing with it, Hudson.
But then when it counts, he delivers. Like, he's not like a bumbling idiot, Even before shit hits the fan, like, he's the one running the bypasses, opening the doors. He's the one looking at the schematics and everything. He takes out one of the face huggers. He's shooting aliens. Like, he's not useless. But you'd think, like, in a movie today, day, a character acting like that would just be dead weight.
Oh, absolutely. That's
But
what
he's
they would
not.
turn him into. No, he's not. He's still competent at his job. He just doesn't really like doing his job.
Yeah, he's just pissed off because now he's gonna bite it on this rock.
Yeah,
4 more
exactly.
weeks, man.
4 more weeks, man.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the original meme machine, you know?
Fucking A.
Michael Bihn's really good. There's this moment in the movie that always stands out to me where I'm like, okay, Michael Biehn is a good fucking actor. You know, they just come out of the hive. Ripley just saved all of them, and she's like, I believe that.
Hicks is next in chain of command. Am I right, Corporal?
Yeah.
That actor choice, the way he says that, is so fucking good.
Everybody's firing on all cylinders. Paul Reiser too, as Burke Carter J coming in, and I love how he gets introduced. Our human antagonist in the movie, he sits down. I'm with the company, but don't let that fool you. I'm an okay guy.
Exactly.
You know, just telling you right off the bat he's an okay guy, and she's like, oh.
Right, and then
Okay.
he's kind of with Ripley the whole time, and you feel like he might be an okay dude.
He's doing some things in the background, like when Gorman like royally fucks up. And she has to take over the APC and
You had your chance, Gorman.
You had your chance, Gorman, and pulls him off of her so she can go rescue them.
Yes.
You know, like, you don't really know what's going on with him. I mean, you know he's fucking dirty, but at the same time, he's playing it well.
Right. The opposite of that is what they do with Bishop, where they're trying to make you unsure of Bishop because of Ash in the first film. And then there's like those scenes where, you know, he's like dissecting the face hugger. Need anything else? No.
Yeah, and it's so like on the
magnificent,
nose,
isn't it? You know,
it's so on the nose. Like it looks like, oh my god, he's been in contact now with an alien. So a switch has been flipped in his head, and now all of a sudden he's like company man.
yeah, it's like total fucking
And then
James
it's like-
Cameron red herring.
And it's one scene too.
Yeah.
like he's only like that in one scene.
Yeah,
And then the rest
exactly.
of the time he's super helpful.
I may be synthetic, but I'm not stupid.
But they try to like play this thing with both Burke and Bishop, where you're not sure. You know?
Well, they did a better job with it with Burke.
Yeah.
But with Bishop, you get like one moment. You know.
I mean, her mistrust of Bishop is good enough as it
yeah,
is.
it's enough.
Yeah.
Like you don't really need to play it up that much.
Right. Well, and then that mistrust that she has, that gets paid off.
Yes.
You know, Bishop becomes like her best ally.
Yep.
That's like her homie at the end of the movie, you
Right.
know? And that's also what's great about the film. Like, you have these characters that have like these little character arcs. And you got Gorman, who starts off as like
even he's got an arc.
Yeah, starts off as like kind of a bitch, kind of he's really
Well,
green.
he's a little cocky. He's like, you know, the officer who's like, you know, a little full of himself, even though he doesn't have the field experience. Too good to sit with us grunts.
Yeah, exactly.
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But you see how he fucks up pretty hard, and then he gets his little concussion, and when he comes to, he's had some sense knocked into him.
Yes, he has, yeah.
And he kind of redeems himself a little bit.
Yeah, him and Vasquez had that friction. And then at the end, when they die together, that's like his redeeming moment.
Speaking of all the Marines, like they are all very colorful and easily identifiable.
Absolutely,
and I remember like the first couple times I saw the movie when I was younger, there were a few like Marines kind of in the background who you don't really get enough screen time with.
Yeah.
They're kind of just fodder, like the medic and Spunkmeyer.
Spunkmeyer.
But like those were always the characters who I was like, okay, you're just like super tertiary. You've got characters like Apone.
Look into my eye.
Dude wakes up out of hypersleep and puts a fucking cigar in his mouth. That's the first thing he wakes up and does.
Right.
I mean, he's great.
And there's like another moment with Apone that's, I think, one of the best scenes in the movie. And it's with Apone, Hicks, and Ripley. And it's in the very beginning where she's like, I kind of feel like a fifth wheel around here. Is there something I could do?
I don't know. Is there something you could do?
Jinx, buy me a Coke.
They're kind of giving her shit, maybe even a little bit because she's a chick, you know? And she's kind of like, fuck these guys. Like, so she gets in the power loader, and then she shows both Hicks and Apone that she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Where you want it?
It's
And they
almost
just
like
laugh it off.
And they just laugh it off. They like her after that.
What does he say?
Bay 12, please.
Bay 12, please.
Bay 12, please.
That scene does a couple of things. First of all, it establishes now that Apone and Hicks especially respect her.
Yes.
And then it also shows us as the audience that she's like capable.
Yeah.
And then the third thing it does is it sets up the power loader third act.
Yeah.
That is like good writing.
Yeah.
This isn't fucking rocket science whatsoever, but this is just how competent writing used to be done.
Yeah.
Those little details are so foreign and lost on screenwriters nowadays. But again, that scene served to do three things, and it does it masterfully.
Yeah, and we were talking about this earlier with like little touches that just seem like they might be slightly comical in the moment or something like that. Well, when they actually drop ship down to the planet and Apone's like, somebody wake up Hicks.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great little character moment for Hicks.
Yeah, he's just sleeping through it.
He's just sleeping through it. It's like everyone else is kind of like, oh yeah, and he's just cool as a cucumber. Guy fell asleep on the drop. That's such a great character moment.
It is, and it doesn't take much.
No,
it's
just little things.
Little things,
Yep.
And this and Predator are the best.
In terms of those ensemble action movies of the 80s. Yeah, and then halfway through the movie, that's kind of when they bring in Newt.
Newt. My name's Newt.
And then you get that dynamic with her and Ripley, and that's great. And how the Marines are playing off of her, little girl being there.
Don't touch that. Dangerous, honey.
And it never once annoyed me that like, oh, there's a fucking kid in this movie now.
It's also funny too because like when they first find her, Gorman's like questioning her, and he's a guy. He sucks with kids.
Yeah.
And then like Ripley's like, give it a rest, Gorman.
Yeah.
And then she's
motherly.
She's motherly. She's very good with kids. This movie like understands. It's not even that it understands gender roles. Again, it's just normal.
Just normal.
It just understands.
It's just normal.
It just understands people.
Yeah.
And like that's also why that scene with the power loader that I brought up. It's like Ripley knows she's sort of like in a man's world.
Yeah.
And this is how you command respect if you're a female in a man's world.
Right.
But she's not like going to the fucking union and try to change the rules and like we need to be sensitive. It's like none of that shit. She just understands the circumstances that she's in.
And it was funny that there are actually quite a few women in that unit.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, Vasquez, obviously.
Fuck you, man.
Dietrich, she's the medic. She's got like a fucking haircut that's shorter than mine.
Exactly.
And then you've got Pharaoh.
The pilot.
There's plenty of women there.
Yeah, exactly. And never once
did I think like, what are these fucking women doing here?
Yeah, I saw some like dumb fucking post. I happened to be on Twitter at one point. Like, fuck that. But I was on there and someone posted, some like fucking lefty posted, oh, if aliens came out today, I think all you boys would have a tough time with it. And it's like, literally none of us. That's why their whole argument falls apart. Because this movie exists and everyone loves this fucking movie.
Yeah.
There's not one dude I know that's like, oh, aliens, feminist propaganda. Not one person says that.
No.
Because it's not. It's just...
It's well written.
It's well written and it feels real.
Yeah.
Ripley, she gets the pulse rifle. She kind of sucks with it at first. She's like, and then she like shoots us for the first time.
Yeah, she has to like remember how to do it. She's backed into a corner. And she's not the one blowing them away in the room. The fucking Marines are doing it. But this does lead to one little thing that Ripley does that did annoy me. And that is how... she is so adamant. They don't kill you. They take you. They cocoon you. And they take Newt.
Yeah.
Yet earlier in the film, when half the Marines get killed and some of them just get captured and taken away to be cocooned.
Yeah. Hudson's like, the Sergeant Dietrich. They're not dead.
Yeah. They're still alive.
Vasquez says, then we go back and get them. And he's just fuck that. And then Ripley says,
You can't help them. Right now they're being cocooned just like the others.
You got to write them off.
Right.
And it's like, if it was Newt, in that moment, she'd be the first one back in.
Well, that's what happens later on in the movie.
Well, of course.
So like it totally
just...
You have no problem going back in for Newt,
right?
Not them.
Right.
Okay,
but,
like them, it's like it's totally done.
Yeah, I was going to segue this into the elephant in the room, which is Cameron's lore expansion. We get the Queen. There's a lot of people out there that are not fans of that.
I feel like when people say they don't like it, they've jumped on some weird bandwagon that started in the past 10 years. You know? At the time, everyone thought that was
like,
cool as hell.
I can't think of anybody, like 10 years ago, who ever had a problem with the Queen.
No.
I guess maybe like the super diehards, but I feel like that's a more popular opinion now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the line that fucking Hudson says where he's like, is this another bug hunt? Like, they just sort of turn the aliens more into bugs.
Yeah, like a Starship Trooper thing.
Yeah, and that's like kind of lame.
Yeah.
Does it destroy the mystery of the alien? Not necessarily, but it just kind of simplifies it.
It simplifies it a little bit, because the first one, it is so mysterious
and weird
and everything.
Up.
And this movie kind of eliminates that weirdness.
Yes.
That the first one really wove into the aesthetic and the story. This one kind of just strips it back, and this turns it more into a fun action.
Right.
Sci-fi movie.
And we talked about this before in the past, but it is weird how since Prometheus on, they've sort of abandoned the whole Queen thing. Like that's like even
because Ridley's been like behind all of these projects. you know,
Yeah,
he never liked it.
Even in Alien Isolation, which, spoiler alert to that game, there ends up being more than one alien in it, and there should be a queen on that station. A lot of people say, and I know some of the devs of that game have said, when you're in the hive part of that game, you hear like some screeching in the background. That's supposed to be the queen.
Yeah.
Even though you go in like every single fucking room in that reactor and you never see the queen.
Right.
But whatever, like, still, they're kind of adverse to showing the queen alien for whatever reason.
Yeah, it was like everything for many years was like paying homage to aliens.
Yeah.
And then there was a shift.
To Alien.
And then it went back to Alien.
Yeah.
And now it's like we can't talk about the queen anymore.
It's very strange. You do get that sense that it's just this like warring ideology between Ridley Scott and James Cameron.
Right,
you know?
right.
And right now, Ridley Scott's camp is sort of winning that battle, I guess.
Right, because Cameron hasn't been involved since fucking Aliens.
Can't blame him after what they did. After this film, you know.
After what they did, which we will get to.
Right.
Now, here's another little nitpick. And this is more in the context of where this series is now in terms of...
time out. Your backlight's not on. I just noticed that.
Oh, shit. Fuck. Well, that's going to change. So my hair light wasn't on, but it's on now, however far into the video we are. Where we are in the context of the alien universe now with like Alien Earth. And you've got these, the 5 mega corporations that basically run the whole planet, right? There's there's no governments anymore. When I first saw Aliens, I never got the sense that the company in this movie was like in charge of Earth. Or like partially in charge of Earth.
Right.
Or in charge of the Colonial Marines, or in charge of the ICC. Those governing bodies and the Marines and everything, they're not like beholden to what the company wants. Like Burke is there because he represents an interest of the company. And you get like Gorman, right? He's got like United States Marine Corps patch on him. He's got an American flag patch on him. Clearly, when Aliens came out, the United States was still a thing.
Even Hudson has that line with Vasquez where he's like, "He's an illegal alien signed up."
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. It's like, well, apparently we still have borders in the year 2179.
Whatever it is.
So there's still a country,
right?
You know?
But it always just struck me as like, okay, the Colonial Marines, which is even said in the movie that the company does not have jurisdiction over the Marines, but the way it's set up now, like with Alien Earth, is that there are no countries anymore. There are no governments.
Right, and the military has been completely privatized.
The militaries are now just
all these corporations.
Under corporations.
Yeah.
So when the fuck did that happen? Especially since this takes place like right before Alien.
This is more reason why Alien Earth fucking sucks ass. It's bullshit.
There's a disconnect there that I'm not following.
Neither was Noah Hawley, apparently.
Yeah, so just watching the movie now after all this new bullshit has come out, it's just something I picked up on, like, oh, look at that. Look at that American flag on Gorman's arm. I guess he represents the United States.
Weird.
Weird.
Weird. Weird.
And then there's the other thing that this movie started that is kind of annoying, and that's the whole xenomorph name. Now, when Gorman says...
A xenomorph may be involved.
The term xenomorph is just a placeholder for an unspecified organism.
An alien organism.
Right, exactly. But it was never meant to be the name of the alien. Do you know, like, the implications of that? It's like, okay, so they already know about it then? And if they know about it, why is Ripley's testimonial that she's about to give even relevant?
Yeah.
The whole thing doesn't make sense. But then just like these fucking nerds took off with that phrase, "Oh, I've seen the movie Aliens. They say xenomorph in it. I'm going to start calling the alien that because that'll show everyone that I've seen the movie and I pay attention." Fuck that. It's the alien, okay? Yeah. It's not the fucking xenomorph. That's such a stupid term.
Another thing they don't do in this movie is ever say the name of the company.
I don't think so.
In the theatrical, they do not say the name.
They don't say Weyland-Yutani.
There's twice in the movie you see the logo.
Yeah.
One very small, one mirrored on a wall, but you can't really read the name. The name might be written somewhere small, somewhere, you know, you know. But no one ever says it. So I still, at this point, you know, Cameron might have come up with a name just to have a name for it.
I think so, yeah. He just came up with a name for a company.
But it's still referenced as the company.
They call it the company.
It's just the company.
Yes.
Which I like.
I like that too.
But now it's just like, you can't refer to the company. It's always just Weyland-Yutani.
Even Alien 3, they refer to it as the company.
Yeah.
And then in Alien Resurrection, she even says something about the company. And then like Brad Dourif's like, company. And the other guy's like, Wayland Yutani.
Yeah.
And explains the backstory.
Yeah.
That's like the first time that...
It's like spoken
yeah,
in
exactly.
a movie.
Yeah. And that's because... You know, conveniently, that's the first fucking fan fiction alien movie, pretty much, is Alien Resurrection.
Basically,
so, you know,
so that tracks.
Damn, we're kind of shitting on the movie.
I know. That's not good. Yeah, we could sit here for an hour and just blow the movie,
which we'll continue doing in a second.
Yeah.
You know,
but it is fun to talk about these little things, these little nitpicks that have always just like caught our attention over the years.
Back to the positives. James Cameron directed the shit out of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you know about like what went on behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Them shooting over in London.
The struggle
and like him
with the crew
dealing with
the British crew.
The British crew.
Yeah. The tea time crew.
Those limey fucks. And like how he is such like a hard-working asshole.
Yeah.
And like, they just were not ready for that at all. And then plus, you know, they basically blow Ridley Scott over there, and like it's like, who the fuck's this guy coming in? Like, what has he made? Like, they hadn't seen Terminator yet, you know?
And they refused to watch it.
They refused to watch it, exactly.
Yeah, they're like, we don't give a shit what this guy directed. Exactly. Fuck this guy.
They fucking hated him.
Yeah.
So
which is hilarious.
Yeah, just knowing that there was all that shit he had to deal with making this movie, you know, and like it turning out as good as it did.
Yeah, it was very surprising. And you know, the movie looks fantastic.
It does.
It still bothers me to this day, though, that it was shot 185.
I know.
Considering how amazing Alien looks.
Exactly.
And, you know, with the anamorphics and everything. And this just, it still looks amazing.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if this movie had been shot?
Well, the thing is, Cameron doesn't like anamorphic. He's never shot anamorphic before.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is he used to be a special effects guy on Roger Corman movies, and he was like the lead matte painter on Escape from New York. And John Carpenter always shoots an anamorphic. And I think based on his experience working on that movie in particular, he saw that it's really hard to do special effects and anamorphic. So he was against filming anamorphic, but what he wanted to do was actually shoot it Super 35. Like, I'm not going to get like super technical, but basically Super 35 is you're just filming it like a normal either 185 or 4:3, and you add the black bars on later on.
Right, you artificially
create a 2.4 to 1 or 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio.
Yeah.
And someone, I guess, talked him out of doing it because he didn't really know that much about it at the time. It was kind of new at the time. He said that he's mad that he let that person talk him out of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have shot it in at least Super 35, so you'd have that aspect ratio at least, you know? After you watch Alien, which is such a gorgeous movie, then you go to this movie and it's just, this movie still looks good.
Oh, it looks amazing.
The lighting is excellent in this film. It's got that blue James Cameron look to it.
There is a heavily blue film.
Yes.
And it was lit specifically to give that alien look.
Right. Well, and that's also just a staple of James Cameron. If you think about the way Terminator 2 is lit, the way True Lies is lit, Titanic.
Yeah.
They all have that nighttime, the moonlight is that blue, that James Cameron blue, you know?
The Abyss is a pretty blue film.
That too, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And this was Adrian
Biddle.
Adrian Biddle, who worked as first AC on Alien.
Yep.
You know, so he was able to carry over a little bit of that. And, you know, you never like question that this is the same universe.
Yes, stylistically they're completely different, but there's enough visual DNA that makes you feel like you're still in the same world. It feels like a continuation.
Yeah, and shocker, the inside of the Sulaco does not look like the inside of the Nostromo.
Yeah,
yet
weird.
They still feel like the same fucking universe.
Exactly, and there you go. Like nowadays, like if they never made Aliens and then like they made a legacy sequel to Alien 30 years later, you bet your ass the fucking interior of that ship
would look just like the Nostromo. Right.
Just like Alien Earth.
Just like Episode 5.
Yes, you don't need to fucking do that.
It's your job to maintain the style while making it look different.
Yeah.
Like H.R. Geiger was busy, he couldn't come back to work on this film, so they had to proceed without him. He eventually watched the film and was like, oh, you guys did a pretty good job, you know?
Well, and then, you know, Stan Winston took over for the makeup and special effects in this. Stan Winston, like, holy shit. Like, the fucking Queen Alien in this movie, like, no CGI, man.
Yep.
Back when you used to build shit.
They had like, what, like 15 people operating that thing or something? Like, it's like...
Yeah. And
for every part of it that moved.
There's an interview with Cameron, I don't know if it's I think it's recent, and he was talking about, if we did the Queen fight scene nowadays, it would definitely fully be CG.
Of course it would.
And it's like, dude.
Yeah. That would suck.
That would really fucking suck.
It would look like shit.
Speaking of looking like shit, I watched this in the new, well, it came out like a year ago, the 4K release. And fucking James Cameron, man, he's doing this thing with his home video releases where he goes in and uses some sort of like AI algorithms to take the grain out of the film and then also artificially sharpen it. It didn't look as bad as True Lies, which is like the worst 4K transfer I've ever seen. And then second place is Terminator 2.
Dude, it looks like, if you ever see on like Instagram, you see those like reels or shorts, and they've got that like ridiculous sharpening filter over it.
Oh yeah,
That's
exactly.
what it looks like.
Yes, exactly right, yeah.
It looks horrible.
It looks fucking terrible. But this movie does the same thing. That's like his version of George Lucasing his own properties, you know?
Yeah.
It's just fucking annoying seeing that. So if you guys watch the movie on home video, watch the Blu-ray, which looks amazing. Just stick with the Blu-ray.
Yeah, the Blu-ray looks great.
In fact, when I pull clips for this review from Aliens, I'm not going to be using that because it looks like shit. So I'll be using the Blu-ray for that.
Whoopie fucking do.
So as cool as this movie is and as cool as Cameron is, he's kind of out of touch with certain things, and that's one of them.
It's really sad. It's pathetic.
The score of this movie.
It's one of the all-time best.
It really is. James Horner did a great job. And especially when you consider the fact that he basically wrote, recorded, and like edited the score in 7 days.
That's fucking nuts.
And like, if you guys haven't watched the behind the scenes featurettes about the making of the whole movie, but the score in particular, it's really good. And James Horner is very candid about what it was like working with Cameron and Gale Ann Hurd, and like the pressure that they put on him, and like they're fucking assholes.
Yeah, we need this in a week, asshole.
Horrendous circumstances that he was under.
Yeah, but he was still able to deliver. He's got the atmosphere in there. He's got the like the military vibes in there.
Yes.
Some of the best like build-ups and payoffs towards the end of this film.
It's some of the best action cues ever written.
Yeah, the intro and then the credit music, he pulls in from like Cacciatorian a little bit. Like, I love those little bits. They drive the themes home.
Much like the Goldsmith score in the first one, how Ridley Scott took it and chopped it up. Well, Cameron did the same thing.
Of course he did.
Yeah, and so as great as the score is, you're not really listening to how it was recorded.
Right.
You know, and it's cool if you watch the Blu-ray, you can actually watch with the isolated score of James Horner's original edit, like the original intention. You can hear the cues that he originally intended. So like the whole drop ship, you know, like in the movie, it's just like the snare drum piece that they're playing, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's great.
But he wrote this whole orchestral thing as they're doing it, and it's really good music. The biggest offense, though, that bothers me is at the very end, which is, I would say, probably the best all-time action music ever written. We mentioned this in our Alien Romulus review, but the Q Bishop's Countdown, which was used in countless trailers in the late 80s and 90s. Fantastic music, everyone knows it if you hear it, but it's used twice in the movie.
Yeah.
So at the end, when she fights the Queen Alien in the power loader and it's getting sucked out, they play the cue over again.
Yeah,
it's like we just heard that like 5 minutes ago,
and
you know? The music that he originally wrote for that scene is actually heard in Die Hard.
Yep.
So at the end, when Carl comes back and Sergeant Powell shoots Carl, that music during that scene is the music that was intended for that end sequence in Aliens.
Yes.
That score was all cut up to shit and put in places in the movie that it wasn't supposed to go. But Horner got an Oscar nomination for that score. Didn't win, but still, it's a phenomenal score. Listen to it still to this day. I know that score by heart.
Oh yeah,
I've listened to it so many times.
every time I listen to a track, like I could just picture the scene in the movie.
Dude, it's just a great movie. It's a tight thriller, never a dull moment, and that finale at the end when she's fighting the Queen Alien in the power loader.
The last 30 minutes of this movie are like untouchable. From the 15 minutes where she has to go get Newt.
Oh man.
They have to get out of there.
Yeah.
And it's all real time too, that 15 minutes where they got to escape on the dropship.
Yeah.
And then you think like, oh, all right, they fucking made it.
Nope. There's more.
There's more. We can exhale. No, you can't.
Yeah.
And the fucking alien comes down and she has to fight it in the power loader. Like, that's like top 5 movie scenes of all time.
This is like one of the best movies ever made. That being said, like, nothing's perfect, but this comes pretty fucking close. And I know that we spent a lot of time shitting on it, actually, you know?
Yeah, but these are just like little things we've noticed because we've watched the movie like 100 times.
I literally over 100 times. I've seen this movie so many times.
So your mind just starts to think like, well, you know, how come this, how come that, you know? But they really are just nitpicks.
Definitely. For me, this is an absolute 9.5 out of 10. This is as close to perfect as you're gonna get.
I agree with that sentiment. We gave the same score to Alien.
Different reasons.
Very different reasons. They deserve all the praise they get.
You cannot say this movie's overrated. And if you say that, then you're gay.
You're a cuck. And in the meantime, if you haven't checked it out yet, please go see our Patreon page because we're going to be dropping some retro reviews on there pretty soon. Our first one coming is The Running Man, 1987. In anticipation of the new one coming out, the new adaptation, which very, very, very excited for. So yeah, check that out, and we'll be back with Alien 3.